Hi there, and welcome to Q the Health Podcast. I'm Ashley and Martin, the hostess with so much love for you listening. Q the Health is here to help you take the right action for your health, healing, and well being. Years ago in college, I studied abroad in Costa Rica and Nicaragua. I had a wonderful, fabulous, glorious time while I was there, and I do hope to return one day. Now, I typically do well when I travel and hardly ever get sick, but there was an exception one day. My stomach got really upset after drinking a beverage. It had some local tap water in it. It was good, but man, oh man, did my stomach hurt. I did not know that the tap water would make me sick. I had some emergency supplies with me, but I didn't have what I normally would use for a stomach ache, like Pepto-Bismol or Tums. Thank God for my host mother, who made some fresh chamomile tea. Talk about a life and a stomach saver. After drinking some of the tea, it took a few hours, but I was relieved of the pain, and I am so grateful that that relief came. In today's Tea-licious episode, I'll be sharing some teas that are delicious, that are healthy, and that can heal you. You can find some in your local stores. You can use what you have. You can grow some of the ingredients I'll share, or you can source them. As mentioned, chamomile is one of those teas that works wonders. It's good for the stomach and it's good for rest. And in fact, sleepy time tea, which is very popular tea, has chamomile in it. It also helps to regulate diabetes, and it is good for regulating mood and cholesterol levels. So consider that tea if you need help with your stomach, you want to regulate diabetes, you want to catch some extra Z's and rest a little better. Chamomile may be your go-to. The next Tea-licious tea is thyme tea, not T-I-M-E, but T-H-Y-M-E. Thyme tea is wonderful. Very simple to make, very easy to make. Consider some hot water, a little bit of fresh thyme or dry thyme, and some honey. You can probably jazz it up a little bit with some lemon, but I like to keep it simple to get the full effect. If you are using dry thyme, you want to make sure, and actually fresh as well, you want to make sure that there's no thyme floating around in your tea. So you want to consider using a tea infuser. You can also actually use a coffee filter and a good teacup, so that again, the thyme is not floating around in your water. There is one that I love and I recommend, and you can click on it in the link in the description, or you can visit my website and find out how to purchase it. Now, thinking about what thyme tea does, why is it good for you? It's incredible for the respiratory system. I used to suffer with asthma as a child and even as an adult, but I don't battle with that anymore. Thank God. I was diagnosed with it when I was 9 years old. It was always very manageable with the use of some preventative medicines and inhaler. I had an emergency inhaler when I needed it. And of course, some natural remedies, because we're on Team Holistic here. Noni juice, some vitamin C, and some teas. I no longer need the preventative medication, and I do have some emergency pills on hand from time to time. I haven't used them, and don't really plan to, but I do have them. But every now and then, depending on the weather, depending on the environment, I might get a little bit of wheezing, which is typical for those who may have dealt with asthma or any respiratory ailments. In most cases, and in these cases, when those things happen, I defer to my tea. And I start with thyme tea and sometimes a little bit of coffee. So I'm not cheating on my tea here, but a little coffee does help the wheezing. It's just not for everybody, but it does help. With that being said, along with the thyme tea, which is again very simple to make, some thyme, some honey, some hot water. There's another one that is very good for the respiratory system. If you're dealing with any wheezing, you're dealing with shortness of breath. Another one that's incredible is oregano tea. Oregano, same oregano you may put in your Italian meals, your spaghetti. This is the same oregano you can use to make tea. Again, you want to consider using a tea infuser or a coffee filter, some hot water, and honey, or a different sweetener. I am always going to advocate for honey because I think honey has some wonderful medicinal benefits, but I do understand not everybody can have it. So you want to consider a sweetener of your choice if you want one at all. Oregano does some wonderful things, fighting off bacteria, fights off colds, it fights off some infections, and it reduces inflammation as well. So again, you want to give a quick health boost to your respiratory system. You want to stop wheezing. Want to fight off some infection, consider that thyme tea. Sometimes a little bit of coffee works wonders, and oregano tea. Now, let's look at one of my favorites, bay leaf tea. Now, I could be biased because of the fact that where I'm from, we use bay leaves a lot. But I could be on to something. We laugh when we get the bay leaf in our portion of whatever meal it's cooked, whether it's a gumbo or it's a stew. To me, it's a good sign that a healing need is being met. Bay leaf has a lot of wonderful properties. It smells wonderful, but it's also a wonderful go-to if you have any menstrual pain. So if you're dealing with cramps or you're dealing with something in your reproductive area, ladies, this is a wonderful tea. It's good for your nervous system. That's for everybody. It's good for your nervous system. It aids with reducing anxiety, and it's another good diabetes regulator. To make this tea, simple standard procedure, as I shared with the oregano and the thyme, you just want some hot water, 1 or 2 bay leaves. Just use one if you have a big bay leaf, and a little bit of honey or whatever alternative sweetener. You want to steep it and enjoy it, and you will see the difference. If not immediately, you'll see it after a while. Wonderful tea, bay leaf tea. And now, last but certainly not least, fig leaf tea. Figs themselves are wonderful for you. They're wonderful superfruits, but the leaves are incredible as well. Sometimes we eat fruit and we don't think about the rest of the tree. Don't look over the leaves of the trees that you have. They're there for healing, a lot of healing. Now, fig leaf tea is a tea that we drink. Not only does it feel better, you will actually feel better in your body, but it helps to regulate so much in the body, the cholesterol, our digestive flows, and it helps with blood sugar as well. To make this, you want to get some fig leaves, whether they're fresh or whether they're dried, and you want to boil it in water for about 15 minutes. That's the best way that we found to do it. And what I've also found out is that the dried leaves make for a stronger tea. It's even darker. And the fresh leaves make for a lighter tea, which is even tends to be a little lighter in color. Both are good for you. They're just different. So it depends on if you want a deeper, more robust taste, use the dried leaves. And if you want a lighter taste, use the fresh leaves. Regardless, you're going to have some really good benefits. With all that being said, even if you are a coffee drinker, you can enjoy some of these licious teas that are delicious for you and really good for you. If you know someone who could benefit from hearing some of the nuggets here, from some of the wisdom here, from some of the remedies here, please like it and share it with them. And if you'd like to share something that's worked for you, don't hesitate to leave it in the comments. Until next time.